This is Communism versus Socialism. When looking at communism, there are two different definitions that society considers. There's the normal one, and then there's the scientific one. The scientific one is a class of society with organization based on the holding of all property as a common ownership. So, due to this, many people believe that communism is restrictive for creative minds and businesses. Therefore, any money that a business makes is not for itself, but for the entire society, and therefore, there is no profit for private companies. So, as communism is known as this in some countries, it is known differently in other countries where there's biased thoughts. So, in other countries, in the other biased countries, it is known as the rule of a society by a single party that controls the economy with centralized bureaucratic planning. So, basically, they want you to believe that this former Soviet Union, China, Korea, all right here, are all communist countries and that they're all equal. One example is the Vietnam War. So, the Vietnam War was considered to be a war about the control of communism, but it didn't end up like that because it was basically a resource war for oil for the United States. It was very bloody, and we even ended up losing in the end. So, socialism is a society run by the working class. So, rather than the elite class, it is run by the mass. Technically, socialism is the transition to communism from capitalism, since they have a lot of similarities. So basically, the idea of socialism is taking the entire rich class, kicking them out, and replacing them with the poor class. So, allowing the peasants and the farmers to rise up. But communism is considered to make the creative mind lessen, and that's what makes communism really weak. It's because of a lot of greed. But this idea is reconsidered when looking at these four motivations. They either enjoy the activity and find it interesting, they enjoy the company from other coworkers while doing this interesting project, they want to make the world a better place, or they want to just get social status. So it is not always about money anymore. One example of this is Linux, where basically it is made by the community and it is free. So one example of a communist thinker is Karl Marx.
Karl Heinrich Marx, born the 5th of May, 1818, was a Prussian, German, and later British philosopher, economist, sociologist, and revolutionary socialist. Marx's economic works laid the foundation for modern labor understandings and its relation to capital. He published multiple books in his lifetime, the most notable being The Communist Manifesto with Friedrich Engels in 1848 and Das Kapital in 1867.
Let the ruling class tremble at communist revolutions. The proletarians have nothing to lose but their chains. They have a world to win. Working men of all countries, unite!
So one example of a socialist thinker is Charles Fourier.
François-Marie Charles Fourier, born April 7, 1772, was a French philosopher. As an influential thinker, his social and moral views became radically controversial during his lifetime. In spite of this, they have come to remain as main currents in modern society. Fourier's views inspired the founding of the community of Utopia in Ohio, and he is credited with having originated the word feminism.
The extension of women's rights is the basic principle of social progress.